Hey guys, it's Miss Demel again, and for this lesson, we are going to be talking about the Woodwind family. And by the end of this lesson, you'll be able to identify the different instruments of the Woodwind family and know how each of the instruments sound. So in the Woodwind family, we have 5 instruments. We have the flute, the clarinet, the saxophone, the oboe, and the bassoon. So the Woodwind family is broken up into 3 different sections. So we have the high winds, which is the flute family. And in the flute family, we also have a smaller version of the flute, which is called a piccolo. And the piccolo plays exactly 1 octave higher than the flute. Now the flute makes a sound. It has a hole and an opening at the top of the instrument, and you blow air across that opening, and that's how it makes a sound. It's kind of similar to when you blow across a water bottle and it makes a pitched sound as well. Next we have the single reeds, and the single reeds make a sound with a reed, and a reed is a single piece of wood. And when you have it up against a mouthpiece, it vibrates and causes a sound. So in the single reeds family, we have the clarinet, and here's what a clarinet mouthpiece looks like with a reed on it, and the saxophone. And here's a picture of a saxophone mouthpiece with a single reed on it. So in the clarinet family, we have the one that everyone starts on in beginning band, and that is what we call the B-flat clarinet. And after everyone learns the B-flat clarinet, you have an option to switch to a couple different clarinets, but the main one being the bass clarinet. And this is going to play, it's a lot longer and it plays a lot lower. Next we have the saxophone, and the one that everyone starts out on, the saxophone, is the alto saxophone. And next in the alto saxophone saxophone family, we have the next one is called the tenor saxophone, and the largest one is the baritone saxophone. The last woodwind family is the double reeds, and the main difference between the single reeds and the double reeds is the double reeds have 2 pieces of wood put together, and they are tied up by string. And when you blow through those 2 pieces of wood, both pieces of wood vibrate to make a sound. So in the double reed family, we have the oboe, and there's what an oboe reed looks like. And we have the oboe, and then something that you learn in high school even is called an English horn. And then we have the bassoon. Here's a bassoon reed. It looks a little bit different, and it's a little bit bigger piece of wood. And we have the bassoon, and then we have the contrabassoon, which is a lot bigger, and it's kind of like the tuba of the bassoon family. So we're going to hear some different examples of the woodwind family, and we're going to start with the flute. And this is a flute and piccolo duet. All right, and the next one that we're going to listen to is the oboe. And this is actually an oboe and piccolo duet. All right, and next we're gonna look at the clarinet. Now we have a video for the B-flat clarinet and the bass clarinet. So let's start with the B-flat clarinet, and I think you'll recognize this song. All right, hopefully you guys recognize that. Next we have the bass clarinet. All right. Hopefully you guys recognize the second song. It's called September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. All right, next we have the saxophone, and this is actually going to be what's called a saxophone quartet, and it has all three instruments that we discussed, including another one that's called the soprano saxophone. And I think hopefully you'll recognize the song. right. Hopefully you recognize that. That's the beginning theme from Monsters, Inc. And last but not least, we have the bassoon. All right, and that was the bassoon. Just to review, which instrument makes up the entire high winds woodwind section? The correct answer is the flute family. The next question, what type of reed is used to play a clarinet and a saxophone? And that answer is a single reed is used to play a clarinet and saxophone. Now, last but not least, what type of reed is used to play an oboe and bassoon? The double reed. A double reed is used to play an oboe and bassoon. So for the next couple questions, it's going to be the same as the brass video. Did you have a favorite video, and if so, why? I know there were a couple we couldn't listen to the whole thing, but I'm going to give the link to you guys. If you want to go back and listen to the whole thing, you are more than welcome to do so. Did you like any of the woodwind instruments more than the brass instruments, or are you more interested in learning more about a certain woodwind instrument than the brass instrument, and if so, why? Might be something to think about, especially you 5th graders. And also, like the brass family lesson, go and ask any of your family members if they have ever played an instrument like this. If maybe they've played a woodwind instrument or a brass instrument, or they've played a certain instrument that we haven't gotten to yet, but we will get to it. All right, and that's it for today. That's the Woodwind family. Thank you guys for listening to this lesson again, and I hope you'll join me for the other 2 lessons. We have the percussion family and the string family left. So thank you guys very much.